What is good, defenders, and welcome. It's the night before a match, and just when you thought we might have forgotten or it got a little bit too late, it's time
Nope.
for your favorite pre-match segment here on Defenders of the Bank. Of course, we are talking about one more sleep, and I know a lot of you out there have lost sleep over the last couple of nights, thinking about the Inter Miami match, thinking about the series and the what could have, should have, and would have been had we either put away a couple of chances or, I don't know, had the referees called any of the two huge fouls in the buildup to one of those Miami goals. But you know what? Everything needs to go over to the side. And now we need to focus on the San Jose Earthquakes because MLS's highest scoring team is headed into BMO. You know my voice, it's the scarf. J.R. Lieberton sitting across the interwebs from me. I give you one LAFC Lafferty, Chris Lafferty.
Good evening. Good evening. I am just so chipper right now. It's JR. It's good to see you again, my friend. It felt like we just did this yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, look, it has been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But what hopefully those of you that are watching on the interwebs right now can see is my banner. That's right, my banner that says 5 matches in 30 days. That's right. LAFC has at least 6 days in between matches for the next 5 weeks and very little travel. We have 3 home matches and 2 road matches in our next 5. Obviously, now all MLS regular season matches with CONCACAF Champions Cup being over for us and Leagues Cup still on the horizon. US Open Cup over with LAFC too. So it's just the MLS regular season for us a little bit. But San Jose, St. Louis, and Houston at home. And then, like I said, not a ton of travel. We just go up the coast twice, Portland and Vancouver. 2 road trips that we know LAFC supporters love to take. And also, it's not half bad for LAFC. It's not like we're flying across to play at Gillette or to play down in Orlando. It's a nice close travel schedule for LAFC. Really excited for these next 5 matches. And here's what I'm saying, Chris Lafferty. These next 5 matches are going to be a big litmus test to how ready, willing, and able can Steve Cherundolo get LAFC to finish those chances.
I'm looking forward to seeing any change in production because I'll tell you what, even on the games we win, that I'm always happy to walk out with a W no matter how we get it. All these 1-0 victories are just starting to get old for me. I I've said it a bunch. I love how our defense has been producing, and I just wish the offense would meet them halfway.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's this looks like it's going to be a Brad Johnson led Tampa Bay Bucks team or a Trent Dilfer led Baltimore Ravens team. Some of those great defenses that won Super Bowls, and people are probably thinking, "Wait, you just gave up 3 goals to Inter Miami. What are you talking about? Great defense." Look, I hear you, but what we were able to do for the majority of the 180 minutes, we played pretty well against Inter Miami. Why do I keep bringing up the past? Got to move forward. A couple things, though, that are on the horizon for us in the next little bit. I know LAFC does have, LAFC Foundation has a really cool volunteer opportunity with the Tree People
Mhm.
in Mulholland Canyon on April 16th. They'll be clearing brush, updating and refreshing the hiking trail, all kinds of cool stuff. My only complaint about it is it's on a Wednesday from 10 to noon, so I don't know how many
Yeah.
of the LAFC faithful can hang out with the Tree People on a Wednesday for 2 hours in the middle of the workday. But you've
Well,
got something coming up a little bit sooner too, my friend. Now, you had a well first, so I'll let you talk about the Tree People first, but I also want to make sure you let everybody know what's going on tomorrow.
Yeah, well, first off, tomorrow, we'll stick in chronological order here. Tomorrow, I have a race that I'm doing. As you know, I'm a runner. I've mentioned it over and over that I ran the marathon this past year. How do you know if somebody's running a marathon? Don't worry, they'll tell you. But also, my next race is coming up tomorrow. It's actually my 13th running of the Pat's Run, benefiting the Pat Tillman Foundation. So I've been doing that every year since 2013, and yeah, excited to get back down there. And just it's just one example of just how active the Black and Gold Running Club is and has been, and how we're going to continue to be going into really like the racing season. We've got, and then on top of that, in just 2 weeks after tomorrow, we have the Rose Bowl Half Marathon. That's right, in Pasadena. We have about 10 members of the Black and Gold Running Club running the half marathon this year. It was originally scheduled for January, which is when they hold it every year. But of course, with the wildfires and with the Rose Bowl being used as kind of central command for all the out of town fire departments that were helping out in the city during that time. We They had to postpone it, and it's going to be April 27th. So just like with the marathon, I want to encourage anyone out there who's listening that if you are in the Pasadena area, anywhere in the San Fernando Valley, San Gabriel Valley, or anywhere close to the Rose Bowl, we'd love to have you out along the course cheering us on. I'll tell you what, the Black and Gold Running Club cheer squad always does an amazing job at the marathon, and the half marathon is, that's a brutal beast in itself. So we would love to see anybody out there who wants to come support us. We are always happy to see some familiar and friendly Black and Gold faces out there along the course. So we'll keep you in touch with that as it gets closer. We'll get more info. But that's what's coming up on the docket for the Black and Gold Running Club these next couple weeks.
I love it. Sounds good. Just a couple quick things to let everybody know too. Incredible new collaboration, if we can call that. That sounds kind of weird, but yeah, it's a collab.
Yeah.
LAFC with the LAFD. That's right, Los Angeles Fire Department and LAFC. A percentage of all the proceeds from both a scarf and a shirt that they are selling tomorrow at LAFC HQ will go to the LA Fire Department Foundation. So really cool there. You're definitely going to want to make sure you get to LAFC HQ early for those items, because I have a feeling they will sell out. And again, it's a great way to make sure that you give to this incredible cause, the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation. All right, so let's talk about these two teams, San Jose and LAFC. San Jose, a traditional doormat, but a doormat no more, even though LAFC still tends to perform well against San Jose. They've got a new sheriff in town, and it's none other than the four-time MLS Coach of the Year. Oh, by the way, in 4 different decades. The 5-time MLS Cup winner, 4-time Supporters Shield winner, 3-time Gold Cup winner with the U.S. men's national team, Bruce Arena. His son on the bench for LAFC, Kenny Arena, for quite a while. He was on our 2018 inaugural team's coaching staff. LAFC MLS knows Bruce Arena as well as anybody. And I rarely say this, but I think this match, this regular season match, means a little bit more to Bruce Arena than maybe some others. Why do I say that? Because Bruce Arena's record against LAFC, 0 wins, 0 draws, 2 losses. And in those 2 losses, LAFC has beaten them 2-0 and 4-0. Not even a goal scored. Now, that wasn't with San Jose, obviously. That was in the house that Tom Brady built, Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts, for the New England Revolution. But Lafferty, any time that Bruce Arena is on the sideline, you know you are going to have a battle on your hands.
I mean, talk about an MLS original, U.S. men's national team coach. the guy has seen it all and done it all. And if there is one mind in the MLS that can stack up against anybody who you bring in, it's Bruce Arena. The guy has his pedigree is unmatched in the MLS, and he has been able to, at all the stops that he's made, turn every team into a contender. And we're taking the lowly San Jose Earthquakes, who've just been an embarrassment. And already he's provided hope and provided a spark and shown flashes of what they can be going forward. So it is, if you're in San Jose and a fan of them, it is a very exciting time for you because you've got to be looking at them and saying, "Hey, I maybe this isn't the year right now, but we're looking like it's going to be pretty soon." And so that optimism is returning to PayPal Park for the first time in a decade more.
Yeah, I mean, look, it used to be players that they would get excited for there, right? The Chris Wondolowskis of the world, the Jeremy Abobases of the world. And for the last few years, it had been Cade Cowell and Christian Espinoza. Well, Espinoza is still there, but he's got a couple more running mates this year, most notably, obviously, the all-time MLS leader in hat tricks, who had one last match, Joseph Martinez. And how about our last true number 9 that wore the black and gold, with the exception of Kai Kamara? Let's not forget about Kai Kamara, everybody. But our last true number 9 that really did a ton of damage, yes, that would be Chicho Arango, both of those guys with 4 goals. But I need everybody to pump the brakes for a minute. Yes, San Jose is coming in leading Major League Soccer in goals scored 15. But they're also giving up 10. Now, before you think, wow, 10, that's a terrible number, it's the exact same that we've given up in 7 matches. So pump your brakes on that one too, everybody. But we're talking about a club, and Steve Cherundolo said it in his press conference, that gives up goals just as easily sometimes as they get them. San Jose is only 1 point above us in the standings right now. 3 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw to give them 10 points on the season, but they do have a +5 goal differential. We, of course, 9 points on the season with our 3 wins. 9th place in the West to San Jose's 8th. And I want to remind everybody, yes, this club is dangerous, but let's take a look at the in-between times. Their first match of the season was a 4-0 drubbing over RSL at home. And their last match, where they just played DC United, was a 6-1 drubbing. So that is a 10-1 aggregate in their last 2 matches. But in between that, they've lost 3 matches, and they've scored 2 goals, 0 goals, 1 goal, 1 goal, and 1 goal. Everybody needs to relax. This is a club that when they are motivated and they have all things clicking on all cylinders, of course, Christian Espinoza, Joseph Martinez, Chicho Arango, they're going to make things happen. But I don't know that they're the world beaters that some people in MLS are making them out to be just yet.
No, I mean not yet, but it's a recipe for success that's brewing up there, and one that's uncharted territory for them in the last 15 plus years. So, like you said, that they've always had individuals to look forward to, and I think this is the first team shaping up well in a while. And if nothing else, I got to say this is probably the first year that their uniforms actually hit. We didn't do a kit review this year, but I got to say I watched their jerseys on TV, and now they look like a real big time MLS club and something with some personality and some character. I swear the last jerseys from like 2021 and 2022, the white ones that just had like a yellow little hoop, and then you got just some letters and a weird logo on it looked like it was made in Microsoft Word. And now it's like they've got some actual character to them, and it looks like they've got some character to the team. That's my in-depth analysis, folks. Their jerseys look really good.
Look, I got a little more in-depth analysis too. Thinking about San Jose here, yeah, they have 2 great wins in the opening game of their season and then the last game of their season. But they might be just as dangerous in their 3 losses. I took a look. inside San Jose's 3 losses this season. They lost to Minnesota United 1-0, but they were able to put up 17 shots and 70% possession. But somehow Minnesota held them to just 1 shot on target out of those 17. If you look at their 2-1 loss to Colorado, Colorado allowed them 27 shots and 11 on target. Zach Steffen coming up to make double-digit saves in that one for Colorado when they allowed 66% possession, and in a 4-1 loss to Charlotte. Obviously, their defense, not great, giving up 4, but they still brought their shooting boots, 26 shots and 6 on target. So if you look at just those 3 matches, we're talking about 70 shots in 3 matches. Get ready for San Jose to come in firing. And of course, it's no surprise who leads the way. We talked about it with Chicho and Joseph Martinez with 4 goals apiece. But LAFC has only had 7 different goal scorers this season in Major League Soccer matches. San Jose has had 9. So something to make sure that we look at is that almost everybody who's going to be taking the pitch has either scored a goal for them or knows how to do so. So be ready for San Jose. Of course, Chris Lafferty, we're going to talk a little bit about Chicho Arango in a bit, and we'll talk a little bit about a couple of other players. But I also forgot, up until Philly mentioned this last night, that San Jose has, as Philly used to call him, the Canadian glory machine himself, Mark Anthony Kaye, will be on the roster. He's played in all 7 games for them. He has not started all 7, I don't think, or maybe he has started all 7 and hasn't played nearly as many minutes. Yeah, that's what it is. He started all 7 games for them. 89 matches in his black and gold career. His 17 assists still sit 8th all time. He's now played over 200 matches for MLS clubs and has 40 goal contributions. We know how we're all going to feel about Chicho Arango when he comes out there on the pitch. How you feeling about El Maple Tree's finest, Mark Anthony Kaye, coming back to BMO?
Well, like we talked about in the beginning of the last episode, that I came on board in 2019 when I moved here. Apparently, Mark Anthony Kaye's great year was 2018. And so I never really saw anything from him, to be honest with you. I missed the boat on Mark Anthony Kaye. As far as I'm concerned, I was never really impressed with the guy when he was here. Seemed like a great guy. Seemed like everyone really liked him, but there was a lot of hype, and I didn't see it at all in his time in the remainder of his last few years with LAFC. I know he left us in 2021, was traded to Colorado for some Gam or Tam. And then when they beat us on decision day, he had his poetic justice tweet, which doesn't really make any sense. And I thought was just overly dramatic and just trying way too hard to be intellectual and just trying way too hard to be like over philosophical, which is kind of my only takeaway from Mark Anthony Kaye during his time with us, was that it was just all sizzle, no steak. I was just like, so look, welcome back, Mark Anthony Kaye. There are a lot of people in the building who are going to be happy to see you. I will also be in the building.
I remember this. Mark Anthony Kaye got hurt right before one of the LAFC like open houses where they had a lot of players who would sit and sign for season ticket holders. And my big memory of Mark Anthony Kaye, he was on like a scooter in kind of a cast on his ankle, right? I think it was a really bad ankle injury that he suffered. And a bunch of kids ran up to him as he was getting in the elevator. Clearly, everybody had finished signing. I mean, Mark Anthony Kaye was probably there for a couple of hours already doing autographs and everything else. And a bunch of kids saw him getting in the elevator. And look, he's on a scooter. It's not like he can get away any faster than he might be able to if he were on his feet. So Mark Anthony Kaye was being ushered in by security, and security told the kids, no, you guys got to back up. Sorry, Mark Anthony Kaye just trying to get in the elevator. And it was Mark Anthony Kaye who stopped security and said, no. I'll sign for all these kids. Don't worry. He stopped. He signed. He took pictures with all these kids, spent another half hour, I think, of his day doing all that. So that's That's actually my biggest memory, aside from the injury and aside from being part of our inaugural season there. Mark Anthony Kaye at least took some time for the kids. Look, for San
Now,
Jose. Oh, sorry.
so before everyone comes at me, I just want to say that yes, by all accounts, I've only heard great things about Mark Anthony Kaye as a person. I never saw much from him or interacted with him much. He seems like a really great guy. I I just don't have any connection to him from my time since I got here and moving on. So look, there's a lot of people, and I mean that when I say they're going to be happy to see him back. He is a throwback to a really wonderful time with the club. Our beginning. But there are also some people in there who he's not going to have the same impact as a guy like a Chicho Arango coming back or a Latif Blessing or any somebody. There are just some other guys who maybe were with us for uh, not even as long as he was. He was here from 2018 through halfway of 2021, so he was with us for a significant portion of time. I didn't have any connection with him at all. So unlike a guy like Chicho, who was with us for only like a year and a half, surprisingly, it's always hard to remember that.
Yeah, look, you guys heard it here first. Chris Lafferty hates Mark Anthony Kaye. I just don't
Yeah,
understand
I
why.
don't hate him. I
I
don't hate
don't
him.
understand.
If
I
he
don't know
were
what he did to Chris Lafferty, but it is what it is. It's fine. Look, other players
words
that
in
we
my
want to talk about real quick for San Jose. They have 4 players who haven't come off the field yet during their first 7 MLS matches. Their goalkeeper, Daniel, defender Bruno Wilson, and also defender Dave Romney. And a player who, look, very few players in this league are worth the price of admission, that you buy a ticket just to go see. I happen to think San Jose actually has 3 of them. 2 of them we are going to talk about in a little bit of depth. And the third probably should be both of our players to watch, but he isn't. And he's somebody who everybody circles on their roster as the player to watch when he comes into the stadium. And that's Cristian Espinoza, tied for first in MLS with 5 assists. And he is always on the ball, always on the ball for San Jose. 89 free kicks so far this season, third in MLS, 2 behind the leader. 15 successful crosses on the season, third in MLS, 2 behind the leader. I already told you he leads in assists. He also leads MLS in what's called shot assists, which are the passes that lead to a shot. This guy puts your best players in position, and he is as good as it gets. Cristian Espinoza is not going to be either of our players to watch, but he is a player that if you take your eyes off of Cristian Espinoza, you will be in trouble. But that being said, Chris Lafferty, let's get into our players to watch, keys to the match, and score prediction. We are already 24 minutes almost in, so here we go. My players to watch are pretty simple, folks. Talk about low-hanging fruit. This is it. Denis Bouanga. Look, Denis, I'm calling you out. You've scored in as many MLS games this season as I have. That's not a good thing. But you have been unselfish at the times where we needed you to be selfish, and then too selfish a couple of times where we needed you to be unselfish. But I'd rather have you be selfish 100% of the time than these passes to guys like Timothy Tillman or any of these other, Ryan Hollingshead or a couple other guys who aren't strikers. I know Tillman can score. I know Ryan Hollingshead was a striker at UCLA. But we need our alpha dog in this one. We need our guy. We need Denis Bouanga to get off the schneid in terms of goals this season in Major League Soccer, and we're going to need more than one from you, Denis. So you know what? Take your defender the same way you took that defender down in Miami, Falcone, when you broke his ankles, and instead of going right at goal the first time, unfortunately, you made the pass. I want you to go right at goal over and over and over again. You've got to be the man. Well, we're all going to watch our last true number 9 that we had for an extended period of time come into BMO Stadium. A man who has scored 64 goals in 117 total matches for MLS clubs. A man who loves to bring his shooting boots to the stadium. 30 shots on target, only second in the league behind Christian Benteke, and the 4th leading scorer in LAFC history. 35 goals in 58 matches. Only Carlos Vela, Denis Bouanga, and Diego Rossi have more goals than Chicho Arango. And we all know and love him, but I'm telling you right now, since he took off the number 9 shirt, we haven't had someone be able to put it on with the way that he has. And not only that, it was the way that he did it. He was a true bull in a china shop number 9 and a player that we miss so much. So Denis Bouanga is going to do his best to help LAFC forget about losing our number 9 in Chicho Arango. Lafferty, you've got a little bit of low-hanging fruit as well, but I'm curious if you'll tell us why you chose your LAFC player to watch. Here comes Lafferty's players to watch.
Ryan Hollingshead. The guy has had a couple of close calls. And now the thing about Ryan Hollingshead is that in every match, he's not always finding the back of the net, but man, he's always making something happen. He's always getting close, and I can see the frustration building on him. And I really think that he's just giving it that little bit extra right now. I think if there's somebody on this team that you can count on to respond to the letdown that we just had on Wednesday night, I believe in the character and the ability of Ryan Hollingshead. This is a guy who already in some down performances has still shown flashes and the potential to score. And I think that it's about time that he starts connecting on these passes or getting these headers to the side of the keeper, just out of reach. And I think we're going to see a little bit of stash magic coming in from flying Ryan Hollingshead, really making something happen because that's a guy who's got so much heart and so much desire to win. And the guy loves the black and gold. He loves the black and gold. He loves being out there in front of us, and he loves giving us something to cheer about. I believe fully in Ryan Hollingshead to be the person tomorrow who steps up and helps us shake off the stink from what we just went through Wednesday and move forward the only way that we should be looking right now. Ryan Hollingshead is going to connect. Ryan Hollingshead is going to give us some magic. Now, the other guy my player to watch for San Jose is a guy who gave the home crowd a lot of magic on Sunday afternoon last weekend when he put up a hat trick against the lowly DC United. DC United is, well, not really, the standard bearer this season for MLS, but I mean they have Christian Benteke, who is a threat, Golden Boot winner. But aside from that, they just did not look like a team that was, fully developed or capable of taking on a dangerous team like the San Jose Earthquake. And to their credit, San Jose Earthquake didn't play down to them. They struck on every level, led by the effort of Joseph Martinez. He did it not only 3 times, but in 3 different ways that he scored a goal, including like his last one was a little chip shot over the defender, over the goalkeeper, and in. So he's finding ways to not only score, but make people look foolish. And if he's going to have that kind of creativity out there on the pitch, I think he's going to be the biggest threat for San Jose tomorrow, and making our defenders have to be really creative themselves and stand tall in the face of an attacker like Martinez.
Yeah, look, I like the idea. Ryan Hollingshead with some stash magic. Let's not forget the magic that Denis Bouanga had against New England the last time a Bruce Arena coached team took on LAFC, 2 goals and an assist in our 4-0 win over Bruce and New England. That was also, as you correctly pointed out, Lafferty, Latif Blessing's return to, at the time, oh no, it was still BMO, at the return to BMO. So all good things, hopefully, for our players to watch. Let's get into the keys to the match. And for me, look, it's Coachella weekend, everybody. So when we get to BMO Stadium, we need to turn it into Goalcella. Let's go. We need to put our shooting boots on. We need to attack Daniel, their keeper, who has not come off the pitch yet this season for San Jose. We need to attack their back line that has given up double-digit goals already this season. They've given up 4 goals in one match already this season to Charlotte. And I think we need to turn it into a loud rock concert just like Coachella will be. It needs to turn BMO Stadium into Goalcella for LAFC. And look, I like my alliterations. I think he's going to be the one that will cause the most trouble. So we need to eliminate the Espinoza effect. He is as good as it gets as a midfield maestro. So all eyes need to be on him. If he cannot give the service to Chicho Arango or to Joseph Martinez or maybe to an Hernan Lopez or whoever else they might have, if he can't give the service, then San Jose can't get going. So between turning BMO Stadium into parts of Goalcella and eliminating the Espinoza effect, LAFC should be able to slow down what has been a high-powered San Jose offense. Lafferty, your keys to the match. I love it because it's just one of those where he sends it to me and I'm like, okay, now he's going to tell us what the heck he means. I give you Chris Lafferty's key to the match.
Yes, I'll go on my laugh tangent just momentarily, but I want to bring up this one comment from the chat here from Johnny, who was very vocal and joined us last night. And we've got a comment here that Mark-Anthony Kaye scores tomorrow and celebrates, and then he predicts a 2-1 win for San Jose. Now, Johnny, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but I just want to make it clear. No, I do not hate Mark-Anthony Kaye. Contrary to the lies that were being spread about me, but I will say that might push me over the edge if that comes true. Anywho, my keys to the game: go wild, go wild. Look, how frustrating has it been? Not just Wednesday, not just Sunday against the Houstons, not just the week before against the San Diegos. We got to go nuts, man. Just start scoring at will. Stop taking 10 touches with the ball in the box. Stop trying to play hot potato and see who else might want to take the shot because you're afraid to. Get that ball, run down their throats, kick that ball in. I want you to Daniel has not come off the pitch all year for San Jose. I want his hands. I want him missing fingers by the end of the night. That's how many shots we're taking on him. We're just going to break his hands at this point. I'm sick of this just passing side to side. We don't have goals on the sidelines, folks. They're forward. Go that way and put them in. I'm just tired of this conservative play from our offense. I'm just tired of us not taking shots, not going for the strike. Just stick the dagger in them already. Just go nuts. Go nuts. I want 10 goals tomorrow.
I mean, I love it. We'll have to see what we predicted for our score predictions. I'll go first. I don't think the problem, folks, is Steve Cherundolo. We talked about in the aftermath of the Inter-Miami match that LAFC created and then squandered 7 quality goal-scoring opportunities. 7 quality goal-scoring opportunities against Miami, led the way by Denis Bouanga, who had a couple that just baffled my mind as to why he chose what he chose. Genuine Cougar in our chat just said it. Denis is in his head, as in his own head. So I think LAFC circles the wagons against a club that will absolutely give up goals. They will give up goals on the counter if we let them. So let's take the opportunities that we have. Let's put them away. And 3-1. So congratulations, Bruce Arena. A club will have scored against us for the first time that you're coaching, but it will be all for naught as 3-1 LAFC. And I'm not even the bullish one between the two of us. Lafferty.
Go nuts. Go nuts. 4-1. I'm saying it. 4-1. We're gonna go wild. We're not even gonna recognize this team tomorrow. We're gonna be shooting from 50 yards out. We're gonna do like Kellen Acosta's game winner last year in Chicago for the Fire out there, where it was like from half field or midfield at the depth, and he just popped it in, went over the goalkeeper's head from like 40 yards out. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. And that's what we got to do. And here's why I say that though, in all seriousness, what I don't want to see is us just running into the box and letting everyone descend upon us. We got to get better about spreading out the opposing team's defenses and let them know that, hey, like we're not just going to be one dimensional. You can't just swarm us and we're going to, relent and immediately you get the ball back. We got to show them we can strike from anywhere. That's why guys like Ryan Hollingshead, I'm going to be looking out for, because he's going to be coming in off the wings, and it's usually not him set up on the sideline. It's him flying in, getting a pass that only he knows is coming, flying out of nowhere. Guys like Sergi Palencia are going to be great for things like that as well. Look, I think tomorrow we're going to see a renewed sense of energy from a lot of this team. I think they're going to feel a lot of fire just because they've got their own pride on the line. And that's something that I don't think we've been seeing all year from this team. And I think we're finally about to see it from these guys. And unfortunately, it's coming off of a devastating loss. But whatever it takes to get there, whatever this team needs to do to find it, I hope that they just did.
Yeah, Ruben is asking real quick for the best 11. Let me tell you who I think LAFC should not even think about every single time they write down their starting lineup. First and foremost, Hugo Lloris, Sergi Palencia, Aaron Long, and I do think Ryan Hollingshead right now. I think 3 of our 4 backline guys, although I would love to see what Artem Smolyakov can do, I just like the stability of Ryan Hollingshead right now. So that means that 4th defender on the back line is going to be some combination of Marlon or Eddie Segura or Maxime Chanot or Nkosi Tafari. And I'm saying this, until further notice, please start Nkosi Tafari. I want to see what he can do out there. I want to pair him with Aaron Long. We've got a devastating attack with Nkosi Tafari in on set pieces and corner kicks. The dude is 6'4" and can jump out of the gym. I would absolutely love to start Nkosi Tafari more and more as the season progresses. In the midfield, 2 names you can forget about, Mark Delgado and Igor Jesus. Just put them down and walk away from the sheet because you don't need to worry about those 2 guys. I love Timothy Tillman. I absolutely do. But if you want to see the one spot on the pitch that we are feeling the loss of a Kike Oliveira or obviously a Matty Bogusz or obviously and Ilie Sanchez, that's that spot. To me, unfortunately, Timothy Tillman just hasn't done enough in enough times. He looked great on the 2 steals that he made against Inter Miami and could have very easily created 2 goals for us. But it doesn't happen enough, and it doesn't happen with enough consistency for me. And then on the front line, I am penciling in all 3 guys until otherwise told. That would be Cengiz Under, Denis Bouanga, and Nathan Ordaz. Here's why. The only reason why I don't start David Martinez. I think David Martinez has a little bit more upside than Nathan Ordaz. But I think the ability to go from Nate, who is more of a straight line goal scorer, to later in the game, bringing on an absolute nightmare in David Martinez so that you have full speed ahead Denis Bouanga and full speed ahead David Martinez late in a match. I think that's where we can steal a goal or 2 away from some tired teams who have been used to having to account for Nathan Ordaz, having Cengiz Under run at them, and doing everything that Denis Bouanga does. those are my guys I start from here on out. And I think that LAFC, again, we're one player away on each line from becoming not just a very, very good team, but an MLS Cup favorite team. That's my thought. Lafferty, we're at the 40-minute mark on a one more sleep. I will give you the last word before we sign off.
Look, tomorrow there's going to be a lot of uh, pent up energy and feelings from a lot of people in the crowd. I think that what you're going to see is a composed yet inspired LAFC on the pitch and on the sidelines. Tomorrow is going to be a day where I think we start to see a turnaround. And I think this is going to be a date where we look back, and this is going to be the point in the season where we go, yes, that was where things turned around for us. It's almost controversial to say because everybody just has their gut reaction and they run with it pretty strongly is, to just throw everyone under the bus. But here's the thing. I'll say it a lot, and it's not just talk. It's not a gimmick. It's truly who I am. I really am optimistic about this team. I think it's not complete yet. I think there is a lot of chemistry still needing to be built out and developed. But I have a lot of faith in this team. I have a lot of faith in our players to turn things around. And I have a lot of faith in our coaching staff to prepare our guys to play well and execute. And I think they have been prepared well, and they just haven't been executing. And I don't think the sky is falling despite the rough start to the season that we've had and the unfortunate exit that we just had on Wednesday. So while it's very easy to go down the doom scroll rabbit hole in the internet and read all the negativity and get upset and just have everything pile on, pile on, pile on, take a breath, take a step back, and let the pros do their job. And I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised from here on out.
Listen, from your lips to the black and gold's ears, I've got 3-1. Chris Lafferty has 4-1. Let us know what you think. Johnny in the chat has 2-1 San Jose. Just let us know what you think in the chat. There's my boy Ruben. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, head to defendersofthebank.com, click on the shop button, and if you see anything you like, pick it up. Why not? Try code DEFENDERS20 for 20% off. Really appreciate all you. Ruben has 2-1 in the chat. I love it. You guys hit us up on social media. Let us know what you think. And you can come hang out at Tailgate with Defenders of the Bank. I will be there. Love you all. And you know how we like to end all these wonderful things that we do. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.